Bet you're wondering, what is it? What's in the tube? What could possibly be? It's a poster. It's actually more than one poster. It's a few posters. But what's on the poster? I'll just hit this one for now. Wow. Speechless. Absolutely speechless. Welcome to the very, very start of The Last Resort. The last ever episode. And this one has got a bit of time travel. He's one of them things where you just go, poof, gone. So, welcome to Last Resort. I'm going to start here, just like the last video. Right, this video has been an ongoing thing for absolutely months. It almost runs all the way back to Without Malice. So I'm going to go back to Without Malice. Long story short here, I started watching National Lampoon's Last Resort and realised, or Scuba School depending on which country you're from, and realised, yeah, I need to rewatch that again. I got a little bit drunk and the film's just so batshit crazy. And now we're back here, so all the episodes between that have happened there. It's been an ongoing thing for a long time. There's some vlogs, there's some guests. Welcome to Last Resort, aka Scuba School, the Corey Haim movie review series. Enjoy the video. Hello! Hello! Breathe. Hello! You've seen the original intro, but you haven't seen the intro. Banana, check. Pink flamingo, check. Sea dolphin. Sea parrot. Hello. Hello. Right. Where are we going with this? Well, I need to be jump cutting. Oh yes, jump cutting. Another film with Jimmy Hoffa. Just need to put that out there before I forget. There's a note over there saying it's another film where, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator going, Jimmy Hoffa. In England, didn't translate well, especially to me. Nope. It's not a Buick in the sky. You haven't got there yet. You will get there with a Buick. It's definitely not Jimmy Hoffa as well in Predator. For years, honestly, for about 30 years, you know, there's a few films around that time. I'm an 83 kid. You know, I've seen films and pop culture references and like the mystery of Jim Hoffa who just disappeared. It's what they made the movie The Irishman about. And I always thought that was him and the Predator who went missing. But apparently it's not. It's just a very similar name. But obviously, in Last Resort, it is Jim Hoffa. So yeah. Yeah, that's me. Now, thinking, oh yeah, cut it in. And completely goon the first 3 minutes of the video. Let's get this video really rolling. Okay, there's a script, low background, sorted that, didn't work. Got one tree hanging all off Amazon, that bad boy. Yeah, okay, Jimmy Hoffa, that's on my notepad. There was a mashup of all the episodes. So this is the 46, 47, 48, we're around that area. There was a massive montage. It's probably over me right now, dead fast. Okay, yeah, we'll fit that in and get rid of it. Yeah, I'm going to take that off because that was just going to make this video about 7 minutes longer than it needs to be. It's going to be pretty long, and this is, again, it's like writing an intro. You've seen the intro, you know what's coming. I need to get there. So this is my little intro here. This has been a year in the making. Ever since I talked about Without Malice, my beard. Without Malice, I mentioned it then. Are we cutting to that? Yeah, I need to rewatch that again. I got a little bit drunk, and the film's just so batshit crazy.
What is this video? What is this experience?
So, Without Malice. So, ever since that, I've been going over here on all these nights and watching this. Last Resort. Last Resort. Small box VHS. Last Resort on Laserdisc. Not Dream Machine. There you go. Now, it's also called Scuba School here in the UK. Okay, so Scuba School, Last Resort. You've seen the poster. I think you've seen the poster. If you haven't seen the, yeah, you have seen the poster. The poster was still there. So it's two fake intros, wasn't it? There was an intro that linked to PSI and that. Now, the reason this is so jumpy uppy all over the place, it's been a year in the making. Because I keep watching that film. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I've been battling a lot of demons the last year, and I've took them on head on. I seriously have. And you are going to see some strange shit in this video, I guarantee it. But the most important thing is now that I'm generally a lot better than I was. I'm serious. So, in that series of resolution, I've decided finally to get here and stand on something wet. Which just so happens to be a cloth that I just got a brand new VHS up there. There's one missing. Where's that? Yeah, so that's a different video.
Look, no, you away, asshole, duck, the duck. I'm just cutting the outtake of Crank 2, the busted thing. Universal Groove has been filmed, and I'm trying to prep Last Resort. Okay. So I remember watching Last Resort 6 weeks ago, very early on when I started doing this. And I've just opened it up, chucked it in there and went, have I left myself a note? And I'm like, oh no. Or has Abraham left a note? I have no idea. Like, where can we put this? Just put this camera down here. Duck. Menu screen. See? I told you there's a fucking duck on the menu screen. See? You didn't believe me. It's there. Look. Quack, quack. I think Abraham's wrote, there's a duck. There's a duck on the menu screen. That is so fucking random. I told you. There's a duck. There's a duck everywhere. Hello? Quack, quack. What are you looking at? This is Last Resort. Hello?
Okay, so here we go. Right, are we ready? Are we ready for this? We're not ready for me yet. Are we ready for me to talk about this? Or do you want me to keep on talking a little bit? Right, so okay, I'll keep talking at the moment. I'll put the duck down, out the shot there, DVD there. I will have to come back tonight and fill in the void a bit. Now, as I was saying before, there's been some strange shit to get here. But, before you hear me talk about this movie, let's have some guests in this video, eh? And there's going to be some guests. I'm not going to come back. They're going to roll. You're going to see Rob Lane, Vampire Mike, and a Dan. Boom!
What's going on? Rob Lane here from the 80s Video Shop Straight to Video out in Alfreton, Derbyshire. Big shout out to my friend Stephen Mason for inviting me along to talk about yet another Two Corys film. And today we're talking about this bad boy right here. Straight from the 90s, National Lampoon's Scuba School, or what it's most known around the world as The Last Resort. A film which I'd kind of put into the recesses of my brain, probably tried to forget about a little bit because it's such a strange film. Rewatching it, it reminds me of, first thing that came to mind, if you've ever seen any of like the mid-80s David Lee Roth promo videos, they always started with these weird like montage storylines. The colour contrast ramped to the max, so it's like melting your brain, pretty much like the opening titles of this film. They had a cast of strange characters dressed in weird costumes. All the dialogue is all over the place, nothing makes sense. Pretty much like this entire film. Even Haim and Feldman's characters are called Sam and Dave. Now whether that is another subliminal Van Halen reference, I have no idea. Maybe it is, maybe it's just the way my head works, but I thought that was kind of odd. But yeah, such an odd film. I don't want to say it's a bad film, because the filmmakers obviously had some kind of vision for this. I don't know what the vision was, but they had a vision. And there would have been a much easier way to approach this film. Most people just wanted to see Corey Haim, Corey Feldman on screen. Even in this film, it's great to see them. There is this weird chemistry, this weird allure to see these two characters, no matter how bad things are getting. They're just great together on screen. So that would have been a much easier sell. But whatever the storyline is, these two characters who lose their jobs and they have to go and try and save their uncle's island. Now, there would have been a much easier teen movie spin on that. But instead, they chose to go down this really wacky route with these weird set designs, stuff that must, whether it cost a fortune or cost next to nothing, it's you decide if you ever watch this film. I think Feldman goes through his entire Smooth Criminal Michael Jackson wardrobe. Everything's a variation on the hat and the suit, but with different color codes. Whether the costume department had any say in that, or it was just Feldman saying this is what he was wearing, I don't know. And with Feldman stuff, you need lightning in a bottle. Everything needs to gel to get like. We know he can act. We know he can be amazing. Just look at Stand By Me. Look at Lost Boys. Look at License to Drive. This film is not one of those films. Feldman just kind of does his thing. Everything seems pretty much improvised. I don't know what's going on for the most part. But then along comes Jeffrey Lewis, a legendary actor. I mean, Juliette Lewis's dad. I'm talking Salem's Lot, the Clint Eastwood Every Which Way But Loose films and all that. He is such an amazing guy. Later on in the film, you have the lady from Poltergeist come in, with Zelda Rubinstein. She crops up right at the end of this weird game show montage. So you've got some, in my opinion, some heavy Hollywood hitters in this one. You got some two uber cute girls in this, which again, it could have just made for a nice, funny romance teen film in there. But no, it goes down this really strange route. So I could try and pitch the storyline to you. I'm not even going to attempt it. You could go away for 20 minutes while you're watching this film, make some lunch, come back, you still wouldn't know what's going on. But yeah, give it a shot. I don't know, you have to maybe in a right frame of mind for The Last Resort or Scuba School. Why they came up with Scuba School, I have no idea. There's like 2 scenes which are to do with scuba diving. I don't know. Again, maybe an easier pitch, because I would have loved to have been, if they had a screening for this, like a premiere party out in Hollywood, I'd love to have seen the reactions of people watching this film. Who knows how it would have gone down. But it was the 90s. Strange time. I don't know. I think the only bit that makes any kind of sense in this film is like the closing scene where there's a few monologues which kind of try and wrap everything up. And it's perhaps the most cohesive part of this entire film. Strangely, there's one line of dialogue where one lady says, it's better to live our own lives than bury them in old movies, which is perhaps what me and Steve Mason and everyone else on this video should be doing when going back to watch films like National Lampoon's Last Resort. But who knows? Worth diving in, just out of curiosity. Thanks for listening. Catch you later.
What's up, Steven? Hey, happy belated birthday, by the way. So, I'm very happy to be here with you and that son of a bitch Mike to be talking about this amazing movie once again. Now, I've already covered National Lampoon's Last Resort over on Staunch TV. Be sure to check that out next, and I'm sure that son of a bitch Mike has made a video himself. But this time, we're here on Lonely Tree Entertainment to talk some shit. Now, I gotta say, this is among the least favorite of the two Corey's romps from back in the day, although I do love the film. It's just not what you would call rewatchable. I think Mike said it best. That son of a bitch Mike, I think he said it best. He said the film is basically like the strangest fever dream that you'll ever see, or something along those lines. And I agree. Fever dream indeed. I mean, we get everything from like the two Coreys kind of almost molesting, if you will, some women, to swimming in air, just walking around at the most low budget like scuba scene you will ever see in any movie. And just those two things right there, those two elements, those don't even go those do no justice trying to explain the strange parts of this film. We get some, like, I guess, like, of teleporting in the film, because how you get from point A to B when you have no budget? You just teleport, and that's how it's done. That's how the two Coreys did it anyways. That's how those guys got around so much back in the day. And another thing about the production is it must have been a strange one. As a director, really wasn't familiar with what you would call, the American low-budget scene, and was very familiar, however, with filming some, I guess what you would call Skinamax, low rent, change the channel, your mom's coming in kind of movies, and that really does show here. Corey Feldman actually has some original music he did for the film, as back in those days, he would basically like put it in his contract. Yeah, I'll do your little movie, but I'm gonna put one of my songs in it. And the track here that's in the film, I can't remember what it's called, but it's actually out for the first time in his box set, which is pretty interesting. Fun little tune, a much better tune than the Dred Zeppelin track that's on here. Speaking of which, like, Steven asked me if I knew anything about that band, if I learned anything on my journeys. No, not really, man. I have the track here somewhere on my computer, but that band sucks. Yeah, I did interview the star Eric Sparky Edwards, who's in the movie a little bit, and he said till this day he hasn't even seen the film, as this of course was kind of when National Lampoon was just throwing the name around. The guy that was in charge wound up in prison at this time, and they basically lied to Corey Feldman. He showed up thinking, oh yeah, Animal House, like this is a big name. I'm gonna get my name. I'm gonna throw my name into the Lampoon hat, if you will. What happened in reality? He himself got lampooned. And what the fuck, man? The movie is so strange. The plot is loose. It has something to do, like, they're looking for some treasure, and there's the typical goons going around. I can't remember the guy's name. The bigger guy, he's like the goon in every movie. He's always like the dumb big goon. Basically plays the same part in this film that he does in that movie House Guest with Sinbad. Sinbad. Everyone knows Sinbad, and everyone loves Sinbad. The one thing that I always wonder about this film is, if you see this magnificent poster that I think is another guest in this video. This magnificent poster advertises the Island Madness Sweepstakes. You can win big time, by the way. But aside from that, there's also some other outrageous prizes, including some 90s shred 'em up rollerblades. And you know what I always wondered is, who won this contest? More importantly, who got the National Lampoon 2 Corey's rollerblades? I want to know what brand, what make, what model, because I want to get some of my own. Yeah, and I guess I want to know who won that contest. I bet you that was a lot of fun. Let me know where you guys first saw the film down in the comments. I'm always interested in where people first saw this. I first saw it on a VHS tape I found in an old house that we broke into as kids, an old abandoned house. And the guy who recorded films onto the tape must have been a Corey fan, because all of his early stuff was on there, including this one. And I just remember thinking, what the hell is this? Steven, happy to be here, baby. Happy belated birthday once again. Over and out. Son of a bitch, Mike. What's up? See you later, guys.
Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Big thank you to Stephen Monkey Mason for putting me on his channel again. I like doing little cameos with him. Picture it, Sicily. Picture it, Bronx, New York, basement apartment with my parents. 97, maybe. Maybe a little before that. My buddy Nicky calls me up and says, Mike, I know you're a big fan of Corey Haim and Corey Feldman and you collect their movies and stuff. I think I have one you haven't seen. The local CVS, which wasn't that local to me, but it was, 5-10 minutes away, has a Corey Haim movie on VHS that I've never heard of. That was it. I bugged my mother and she drove me right to the pharmacy. And, sometimes pharmacies still sell movies, but back then, there'd always be like a big rack of VHS tapes kind of on the side. DVDs were not out yet. And I grabbed National Lampoon's Last Resort. I don't know where it is now. I either still have it in my parents' attic, or I possibly could have given it away when I was making room because I don't have a VCR any longer. And get home, and I think I either watched it that day or perhaps the next day. Maybe I was off from school or something. And wow. This is, for all intents and purposes, a bad film. But because I'm a Corey Haim and a Corey Feldman fan, it's a fun film. Cheesy, goofy, bad one-liners, jokes about the Lost Boys, strange, distorted voices, odd acting choices, and odd directions. If you like kind of screwy goofball humor, you might find it funny. But even then, some of it is so distorted with the voices, it's hard to understand. I loved it. This is probably one of my biggest guilty pleasure films. Some people talk about how much I love Johnny Mnemonic, And that has a cheesy tone to it. It's not as serious as I would like. But this is so bad that it's good. Not like The Room. Just, it's goofy and quirky and very 90s. And if you want to go back and recapture 90s schlocky cheeseball humor, National Lampoons is really fun. And it's always great seeing my buddies Corey Haim and Corey Feldman together. Rest in peace, Corey Haim. So that was it. I eventually picked up the DVD years later. Like I said, I think I got rid of the VHS tape down the line at one point. And I've always been a very big Corey Haim and Corey Feldman fan. So check this out if you haven't. It's you'll see some actors you know. I think Juliette Lewis's father is probably the most famous actor in the film. I want to say that's who he is. I think he's passed away now as well. And that's where National Lampoons, they said, was really on the decline. Even though I'm not a fan of the Christmas and vacation ones, but I know people do love those and watch them every year. So guys, let me know what you think of National Lampoon's Last Resort if you watch it, or if you've seen it before. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Thanks again, Steven. Be good.
Quack, quack. Okay, hello. Okay, so you've seen Rob, you've seen Dan, you've seen Vampire Mike. So I've had that footage now for a while, quite a while actually. And as I said, I put it on there. I do a lot of music videos and random stuff, travelling, vlogging and stuff like that. And again, when I thought, let's make Last Resort the last video, let's ramp it up. So it's been a while for me to actually get to this point, to actually go, wow, and talk about this movie. And obviously, right now, I need to show you the journey into madness. I've just opened it up, tripped it in and went, have I left myself a note? And I'm like, oh no. Wow, do you see what a note does? A simple note. The doc did it. Last Resort again.
We're gonna run to a love safe getaway, a big green field where emotions never play. Take a trip, close your eyes and spend the day. Passion, you and me, make a love safe getaway.
When does this hat go? So yeah, it's going to be weird when Abraham leaves notes. Now, Abraham is in this video. He's about and out. He's somewhere these days, no idea, but yeah, okay. It's a long time coming there. You've seen multiple variants of me. You've seen Abraham, you've seen Seven, you've seen the Duck, and yeah, quack, quack. Okay, so I remember seeing Scuba School at the same time I seen Fast Getaway, Blown Away, Fast Getaway 2, Just One of the Girls. I remember Titles Video Shop had a corner, and the big film that time period was Demolition Man at the time. That's why there's always a Demolition Man poster in this room. Might not be for too much longer because the Burbs might have to move into this room. That's a different story. Anyway, I remember looking around, and then I seen Scuba School. Now, Scuba School is a National Lampoons, and National Lampoons Loaded Weapon 1 is an absolute juggernaut. Never been a big fan of the vacations and stuff like that, but National Lampoons just after this went into crazy shit like fucking Men in White and National Lampoons Christmas Vacation 2 or Golf Crazy with Tim Allen. They just went batshit crazy until they had a bit of a comeback with Van Wilder. But again, Haim and Feldman were wanting to re-team, and National Lampoons at that time would have been the right choice. No word of lie, would have been the right choice. I enjoyed Blown Away. Dream a Little Dream should have been Licensed to Drive 2. Simple. But the three films and reunions we got, I think, kind of, I would say Blown Away is the better out of the three. Now this film, right, to some now, they watched it, but like, what the fuck? Now, since the artwork came out a few weeks ago, and everyone's just like, well, what's this? And it's great to give this film some kind of like, what is it? Because this film, right, is absolutely batshit crazy. Now let's put this down here. That is different artwork, different name, and it's a 12. Quite rare for 12s back then, right? So you put it on, you've got this very like 90s Rush, crazy ass song by Led Zeppelin, which I've borrowed for this. I say borrowed, right, because I put it in here because I fucking love this song within this film, and it just doesn't exist. It's just like fell off the face of the earth. So again, okay, Led Zeppelin, got me stick. So Corey Haim, Corey Feldman re-team, little montage, trendy. Led Zeppelin's at the bar, they get fired, poof, they disappear, like poof gone, they disappear at this island. And he's got this Uncle Rex who used to be a pirate, and there's references to the Lost Boys, and it's mental.
Take it easy, man. Slow the plane down.
You know, Feldman's wearing the same suit, a little bit different. Haim's doing that. There's a lot of boom, repeat. Haim's definitely supporting his interests in video games. So you can see Double O Kid and Double Switch. You can see Haim's passion for movies. I always loved it as a kid, with the split down set. One colour blue, one colour red. Vibrant nightlife. Goes to the music kind of thing, and them talking on the telephone. It was a simple skit, easy enough done. And then they get to the island, and then there's a few people you might recognise. Jeffrey Lewis is in this, and I didn't realise essentially I've known this film since it came out. I didn't realise he was Juliette Lewis's dad. I always knew something weirdly looking about Juliette Lewis, but it's never twigged. Never twigged. Anyway, I put this movie on, love the start, love the jokes, and I remember when we get to the bit before the panic sets in and you realise they're not Scuba ghouls, and he's flying across the sky for the second time, and you know there's weird palm trees. I remember sending a random picture twice to Tony, and you've already seen this footage randomly in there of the Buick floating from the sky, so random. And Tony, who did the artwork, was like, "Why did you send me that at 2 o'clock in the morning?" I don't understand, and that's why the Buick is on the poster. There's so much random stuff in this movie. The idea that instead of water, they're going around. And I shit you not, like, even though this film may have played twice one night and stuff like that, and essentially I am been battling my demons and having maybe a few more 2 beers than I should have. I've had a lot going on over the last year, I'll say that. But again, I've kept coming back to this film, and this film transports me back to that time when I found this passionate love for these movies. And there's only a few of these movies will do that, and when they do it very strongly, and it's under the influence of weed. But again, it's there, you know what I mean? It's like, it's there. And this is one of their films. It's batshit crazy. And I shit you not, I cannot remember how the film ends. I'm like, how does it end? And I'll be driving to work and I'll be like, and I'll be trying to put stuff back together. And another thing, like looking back at the vlog you've seen, I need to explain that vlog footage to you, the random events, the different change, the pendulum shift of over 6 months of just dealing with lots of things, lots of personal things going on there, but also the influence in trying to become a better person, and that's what it's all about, and that's what this video was about as well. So I got straight and narrow, I concocted this crazy idea, but I still couldn't remember how the film ended. Now, I can tell you how the film ends now because I watched it the other night sober for the first time. Went, right, it's time, I have a script. I've got a script, I've got my pen back out, the review was set up and went to shit, but again, that's done, right? The drunk vlog needs to explain. The story about the poster, we're getting there. Vampire Mate, we'll get that an outtake. Intro to Led Zeppelin, talked about that. Fever Lake, if you go back to the Fever Lake video, I also even mentioned like The Last Resort then, so it was an ongoing thing.
So a shout out to Vampire Mike and Dan, who I've just messaged there as the zooms around the house. I had a look on IMDb, and it's meant to, the film's meant to feature in some theatre thing, 3000. It was filmed in West Constant. And then I've just went on, and obviously that big ass poster up there, which I've been humming and hawing about for weeks, whether to come down and put my thing poster up.
just so happens now on IMDb is actually the screenshot. You see that there, the screenshot for the thumbnail, which it never was. So yeah. Oh, and she's getting very spaced out. Weekend at Fever Lake is changed to Terror Weekend. A Dan sings an outtake. Abraham's been dressed as a duck. I seen that the other day. I was like, do not fucking remember that. Hence why I was getting counselling. Hello, quack quack. And yeah, again. Okay, so we'll get there. So it's quite good. We'll go back to here. The end of the film. Dred Zeppelin return for another rendition of the song. Corey Feldman turns up Michael Jackson in front of the Goonies fucking ship. Like that. And like, what the fuck? Corey Feldman has a song that I didn't know, and it's going to be an outtake in that box set right there. That's an alternative video I'm doing at the moment. So, I don't know if there'll be 2 outtakes or anything. I don't know what the song is off the movie. It's probably going to be in the Corey Feldman one. I think I'll go for Dred Zeppelin on this one. But again, Corey did a song for it as well. I'm aware of that now. Why the fuck does the movie end? So they go running around. There's a guy, and the woman from The Exorcist turns up. There's a quiz show. There's crazy questions. There's crazy, like, stereotypical how big's your dick for a question and stuff like that. And they're all running around and they're looking for Beji treasure and they don't see the sign. And if I just move the duck, fucking heavy duck that, isn't it? Not as heavy as a bowling ball. I think a bowling ball's a lot heavier. See, the national anthem is bowling ball. You see, a bowling ball's definitely heavier. So stick there, pop, DVD, quite rare that. Get a hold of it though, works perfectly fine in England, awesome. So yeah, they literally turn up and they get this treasure chest and they're like, right, I found the treasure! Like literally, it's in here! And what's in the treasure box? What's in? And like, I was like, what is in the fucking box? I mean, to me now, the fan, if anyone who's a fan of this will be like, what's in the box? And if you said, shooter on the side, they'll be like, that's what was missing from the shelf. Shooter on the side. Yeah, what is in the box? Well, it's a film canister. Well, I still haven't owned that. And this shit just lying around the house. And the bad guy, who was always the bad guy in the movies, there's one film where he played the good guy and got lost. And the good guy is the only guy to have a copy. Aces of Fire or something like that. And he swaps an entire island for this movie. Yeah. This one's called Family Glory. Picnic. Again, that's on video. I've never got around to making. Go back to your treasure chest for now. So yeah. I think I'm done. I generally think I'm done. My crazy ass waffle. I really do. Again, massive thank you to Dan, Vampire Mike, for just being a part of Lonely Tree. Even going back to, like, you know, a couple of months back, right? We'll end this right now with this. You know, it started with Vampire Mike over on Sega CD Universe over in New York. Started giving me grief about my last resort. That I couldn't work out where I wanted to put it. It's way too early. So, hello. This video is aimed at Vampire Mike at Sega CD Universe, and this is also aimed at Dan at Staunch TV in America. So it's really cool to interact with people I've met for the sheer love of the two Coreys over the internet. It's also one of the things where you'll get a message in the middle of the night and they're like sitting up having a cup of tea and it's the middle of the day. It's one of those cool things about like, beep, what's that? So this morning I got a beep and it was Vampire Mike. Literally eyeballing me down the camera and giving us grief about our new little group of Last Resort. Now over here, I'd just like to point out, it's called Scuba School. Okay, that's right, so it is here. Dun dun dun. There it is, framed. Also got Hard Rain and Nicolas Cage movie behind it, keeps them all safe. But yeah, Dred Zeppelin on the front cover. The thing what I don't get about this one, right, that this was released at obviously on VHS. That's a one sheet. That's huge. That's like big promotion for a movie that bombed. But I don't think it was the two Coreys bombing. Like I think like when I was watching it the other night, it's just
a badly made movie that's become a cult classic because of, like, you know, just how it was and when it was.
My poster. Then Dan's got it. So I think me, Dan and Vampire Mike are the only 2 people, or 3 people, sorry, in the world that has it and is proud to own it and up to show Last Resort. Now, it'd be handy if I had it. Handy, but I need to get rid of my treasure chest. But I've got a jump cut in mind here. So, they were giving me grief, and then I had an idea. Why don't I get Feldman to sign mine?
It's like 3D, you can move it all around, make it bigger, smaller, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
The only artist that's ever done that before, so it's a brand new idea. First to do it, thank you very much.
That's cool. Love that.
Oh wow.
Definitely good choice on pen colour.
Watch that doesn't roll back and
Oh, smudge,
I
yeah.
can't cut them so they're all separate, you can carry them.
Thank you.
Now, even Feldman's appearance has been quite brief. Stephen, God bless, Corey Feldman. I never even thought about getting this signed until Dan and Vampire Mike started giving me grief. Maybe Rob now needs one for the video shop down south there, but obviously Haim is never going to sign that. But obviously Dan is very interested to find out who won the fucking gremlins in the film can again. Waited a whole year to get around to filming this, and do I check the fucking space on the camera? No. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, Feldman's appearance is brief, but one appearance echoes across the channel to the Feldman box set. He was in the vlog, popped on a few things, but if anything, I'll leave you with this for Feldman's random appearance. I absolutely love this movie. Now going back to how many times I've seen it over the last year and the journey I've took to get to this point, to having Feldman, it'd be absolutely class, signing that and then reflecting on it, looking at it, having the guys in it, and there's still more outtakes to come. Even though this video is weird, wacky and wonderful, it's made for me, it's made for my friends, and it's made for people who watch it. And if you ever get to see Last Resort or Scuba School, just, you know, go like this film can save your life in a way, because I've seen it at a certain point in my life that reminds me of life that's great. Not that I'm saying I've ever had dark thoughts in that sense. I'm talking about the fact that life's a weird one. Working it out is the problem. And again, thank you everyone who's been part of this. And don't worry, there's fucking loads more to come, not just in the outtakes. Here in the outtakes, before the rest of the outtakes come, because there'll be outtakes all over the place, one outtake I need to point out. Let's go back to Vampire Mike a second.
This is, for all intents and purposes, a bad film. But because I'm a Corey Haim and a Corey Feldman fan, it's a fun film.
So, a Vampire Mike has a Last Resort, as it's called in America, but it has Scuba School artwork on. Obviously I don't have one of them. So yeah, that's an interesting one for the collection down the line. I had a look. Another thing, I thought, oh, I'll get that and put it off there. And then it's another thing, like, again, if you're new to the channel or not new to the channel, you probably know that Blown Away had a very fucking wild, wacky fucking VHS crossover with the video shop. And then when we went back down to the video shop a couple of months ago now to see Rob, he fucking did it to us again.
So, he's an outtake for you. I'm at the video shop with Rob. Rob sent me his video footage about 2 or 3 months ago. Have I finished Last Resort? No. Do I need to finish it? Yes. Carl's in the background here. Matt's in the background. Yeah, I was going to think they could have cameos anyway. But over here, it's called Scuba School. There's nothing in this one.
Sample.
Busted. Oh, you're a dick. You're a dick? You're an absolute...
I do it to you every time.
You knew I was going to do that. Ah, there you go. It's a sample of Scuba School. When your video shop shuts, I would like that for my collection. You knew that was coming.
I did as soon as you picked it up.
You can't have a last resort video or a Scuba School video without being on the beach. It's windy though, I know. Windy and horrible and freezing cold and left me hat in the car and yeah. So at least I came on the beach.
Here's a quick outtake. I had no idea Last Resort was an actual song on the album as well. Love Safe Getaway, which is amazing. So that's an outtake because the washing machine's going in the background and I'm shouting because the telly's on the background. But yeah, Last Resort, baby.
You know when you're making Last Resort video, you feel someone crawling over you, you think, have I smoked too much weed? No, look. Look at that fucking thing. Look at that. Tried to attack me. Didn't mean to kill it. Oh, it's dead. But yeah, that fucking crawled over my head.
Here's a random outtake for The Last Resort. When I was thinking about the inflatables, I was thinking, I wonder where that's at. Found it today in the loft. I mean, it was deflated. If you're wondering, how could you not find that in the loft? But an interesting thing, biting it out there, blue. I mean, they've gone for red, but you know, blue on there. So that would have been a good inflatable. So when you see the poster and you go, what's that got to do with a shark? There we go, Jaws. And that makes sense. Little wakeboard, kid murdered to death, and then years later we get Meg. Now Meg, another thing I found in the loft today, is a surfboard. And teeth taken out of it. Not the same. Now that was Jaws, that's cool, but Meg, isn't Meg Megalodon? Should that not be like a boat or something? I believe I've waffled about that in the past. But enjoy the next outtake.
Hi!
That's Tony, the artist. Last Resort poster. And that's a New Nowhere sound check. Have you seen Last Resort?
No.
You would have. You would have watched it back years ago.
National Lampoons.
It's one of the ones we would have watched back in the day.
I think National Lampoons that I can think of. Christmas Fake, all them ones.
Load of Wet and Worn.
Yeah. Animal House.
So, kind of need to figure out where that's going to go, because it's not exactly a one sheet, so it can't go with the other poster. Where's it going to go? Wow. It's going to take a while to get used to this. Ta-da! So it's going to go. That was a nightmare to put back up in the background. I did one next to the other Last Resort poster, but they're close separate. They're almost there. Yeah, cool. So, I'm actually, as an outtake for Last Resort, since the poster's up, which you've all seen, I'm actually doing Matt Fairley's single. I'm actually watching the film sober for once. Boom! Just waiting for lights to come on. Oh, the choices! Just the choices, it's like, okay. I have a plan. We're still going with this Last Resort video. And there we go. This is the very end of this video. Okay, as of right now, I don't think you need anything more from me. Again, this video is done, dusted, and docked. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now. Jimmy Hop. Forgotten to mention, dedicated to Corey Haim. You know, I'd love to have him in the video, but could have said, you know, awesome to have Corey Feldman in the video, but like, Corey Haim. You know, I'm never too far away if you need me. I just can't be pissed with your videos. Like, faffing on. But, you know, yeah. In a case of emergencies, yes, I understand. But for now, make this end. Bye.